Welcome to the Dysfunction Junkies podcast. We may not have seen it all, but we've seen enough. And now, here are your hosts, Chrisy and Kerry.
Hello, Dysfunction Junkies. I'm Kerry.
And I'm Chrisy.
Welcome to your safe space. And for those of you that might be just joining us, thank you for finding us and coming into our little safe space here. You know, Chrisy and I just like to talk about life and all the dysfunctions that we've lived through or currently living with and just everything around us. So we hope that you enjoy our candid conversations and again, welcome. So.
Yes, I hear from a lot of people so far, which has been very rewarding and wonderful, that there's pretty much not anything that they can't relate to.
Yeah.
As far as what we discuss here.
Yes.
So, and yes, we don't all experience the exact same thing, but there's something in what we experience that people get.
Yes.
Or you realize you were dealing with it, and maybe at that moment you didn't know you were dealing with it. So,
or maybe you're the lucky ones that are going like, holy crap, I'm so glad I didn't grow with that, or I'm not dealing with that, and you have a normal life. So God bless you if you do.
Yeah, I don't exactly know what
normal
the definition
is.
of normal is. Because as normal as you might think you are.
Yeah, exactly.
The more normal you think you are, the less normal you really are.
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. Oh, my. So we're here in February. It's, gloomy as always here in Northeast Ohio. But the one ray of sunshine this weekend is...
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
The day for lovers, I guess. Wear your red and your hearts and give cards, I guess.
We get the flowers. Have you ever been that kind of person that wears the clothes to match the theme of the season? Like, will you wear red on Valentine's Day and green on St. Patrick's Day? Or
red
what?
On Valentine's Day.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I have the heart leggings.
Oh, my God, you really?
Yeah, and probably heart earrings. Yeah, because, it's, to me, pretty.
Yeah.
Now, when we get into St. Patrick's Day in a month from now,
yeah.
But just to give you a little preview, I am not Irish.
Uh-huh.
And we went to a Catholic Irish high school.
Yes, we did.
So we were told that we were Irish even if we weren't.
Exactly, yes.
Which, I don't know that that's a nice thing to say. My husband is half Irish.
Okay.
So the Irish people are wonderful.
Yes.
I work for a lovely Irish family.
Okay.
And I love Cillian Murphy. Who is Irish.
That was a good accent there. Ooh, you got that down.
Yeah. He's beautiful.
So are you saying then, yes, you'll wear green on St. Patrick's Day?
I don't, though, because I don't feel it's my right to, because I'm not. And I know that they're like, but on St. Patrick's Day, everybody is Irish.
Oh, my God, you do that so good.
No, I don't want to be insulting. I think I do have one. I did break down and I did finally buy, because I was wearing our high school. I had some shirts that I bought. Actually, I think when my niece was going to the high school, she was selling some shirts for softball or something.
Yeah.
So I do have like a baseball shirt that has, our emblem
logo
on
and stuff on it, yeah.
And I would wear that, and I did break down and just finally buy a shirt. And because my kids have Irish ancestry now, they have Irish shirts. But and I will dress them up for Valentine's Day too. So
okay,
yeah. So I do. I wear the themes, I guess. Yes, I do.
I don't ever think about it, and then I get to work and everyone's wearing red, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should have done that. Or they'll be on the St. Patrick's Day, everyone's wearing green. Oh yeah. On Halloween, they'll come in dressed in a costume. I'll be like, oh, I didn't think about that. Like I missed the boat, and I haven't learned. So yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah,
it's all right, because it can be pressure, and then when you forget to do it and you wanted to. This year I had a lot going on, so I forgot to wear some of my Christmas leggings, and then I have to rotate them and put them back down to the bottom of the pile of leggings, because now they're out of season. 12 months away from that.
Yeah. So what I don't understand, though, is with this whole Valentine's Day is the Sweetest Day and Valentine's Day. Is it like this the same thing? They're just trying to do it in 2 different months? And with Sweetest Day, I don't think it's really nationally recognized. I think that's more of a Northeast Ohio thing. Like, I remember when we were in high school, Sweetest Day was a big thing. Like, you'd get to buy a carnation and you'd get a carnation. Well, I never got any carnations, but in any case, you could buy it some.
Your friend
yes
didn't go to school with us.
I know, but other people people were dating people that didn't go to school, and they made sure they found a way to buy it. They'd have someone like, he didn't come to you and say, hey, Chrissy, could you buy this for Kerry so she gets a carnation? No, I just got nothing.
Oh, yeah, she could. Yeah, he could have done that. Oh, my God.
I know. I was cheating.
Jerk.
What a jerk. Yeah. Well, maybe that's why we're not together. But any case, but yeah. So like Sweetest Day, I'm always like, it always surprises me because I'm like, what is this? And then we have Valentine's Day, and so,
Valentine's Day is more legit. This is my opinion.
Yes, please share.
Because it's been around for a while, and I guess you put the word saint in front of it.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my God.
St. Patrick's Day, Saint. Oh yeah, there's a theme there.
Yeah. Now, as far as who, now this is gonna sound. Remember, Kerry good, Chrissy bad. I don't know. Was Saint Valentine a person, and did we have to go to mass for Saint Valentine? I don't think that's. I don't know. What
it was not a day
and
of obligation.
What was the fat cherub about? With a weapon. Who gave that fat cherub a weapon? And they have the ability to fly. They could. That just seems destructive.
I don't think that had to do with the religious end of St. Valentine. I think that became more of the Hallmark part of the Valentine.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Oh my gosh, it's terrifying now. Now, Sweetest Day, I'm with you. I remember it kind of coming into its own when we were in high school.
Yeah.
But when we were in grade school,
no.
I don't remember us having any acknowledgement of that. So that must be, we'd have to do some research on that. When?
Right. It's in October sometime.
It is in October.
Yeah, like the 20th or whatever.
Usually like the second weekend.
Yeah. DJ Nick, Google that.
Yeah, when did Sweetest
Day
become a thing? We just wondered. But no, Valentine's Day, yeah, it's been around a long time.
Yeah.
You guys are quick. I was looking up St. Valentine.
Oh, yeah, no, we're not.
We moved on.
We moved. But so yeah, they're different times of the year. Some people will probably tell you that both are Hallmark holidays, as you said, to help that industry out. But isn't everything that we celebrate in general some sort of
retail
bigger monster trying to keep the money out there circulating, which isn't a bad thing. I love being a consumer. So
DJ Nick, what'd you find?
It is a Northeast Ohio thing, Kerry. I was like, where'd you come up with that?
Because when I lived out west, people didn't know what it was. You never saw it. So please share.
According to Wikipedia, of course. The first Sweetest Day was observed in October 1921 in Cleveland, Ohio. So, and it does attribute Sweetest Day to a Great Lakes region thing. So
so that's there.
So maybe it is like a Northeast.
It is a Northeast Ohio thing. Yeah. Okay.
So do they not have greeting cards for it out
No,
west?
that's what I'm saying is somehow when I was living out west, I don't even know how it came up, but I was probably talking to somebody at home and they were saying, what are you doing for Sweetest Day? And I was like, whoa, I forgot about that. And then like just through conversation, there was no Sweetest Day cards. There was no, so it was not a thing out there. So thank you, DJ Nick. That was good. So
it's a distraction from, in my opinion, the best holiday,
which
Halloween. You got to focus on that. I mean, it's just a couple of weeks. Now you're trying to take me out of the Halloween mode for this?
But you know why it's not a legitimate holiday? Is because there's no movie The Sweetest Day that almost wasn't.
Oh my God, there's not. I'm going to start working on that script.
Is there a Valentine's Day movie that we need, or cartoon?
Well, Charlie Brown had a Valentine's show.
He did?
I think. Yeah. No, I don't think there's really. I mean, I'm sure there's cartoons that have that as a theme for a show, but nothing that's made an impact.
Major release.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So, but yeah, wow.
So did you have to do all those little treat bags and stuff? Like, did your school, because we both you went to a Catholic grade school, right?
I did.
Yeah, so did I.
For the most part.
Yeah.
I left for a few years and then ended back in Catholic.
So, when we were growing, I don't know about your school, but in my Catholic grade school, it was one room. Like, all your class all day, one teacher, one room. Like, we didn't switch like you do in high school and stuff. I didn't experience that until I went to high school. So 8 years, one classroom. So, basically you're in the room with the same kids for 8 years, the same 20 kids we went to school with. So how did you feel about the whole treat bag and Valentine's Day situation?
Well, when we were young, we did have a Valentine's party in grade school, and our situation was similar to yours as far as how the grade school operated. I do remember the grade school I went to had 2 of every grade. So there was 2.
You were a bigger school.
Well, it's hard for me to imagine because your school was on outside of the city and mine was inside. So I guess, I'm probably at the time when I was there, population was still fairly high. So
we only had 1 classroom of each grade.
So some years you would have, it would change up as far as who the kids were in your class, because some of them might have been in the other class.
Gotcha.
And we didn't generally change classes for anything. There was no, you didn't go for lunch in we didn't have a cafeteria.
Right.
You ate in your classroom. Now for science, for specific types of subjects, sometimes you did have to change because the other grade teacher may have been the one in charge of teaching science or math.
But did the teachers switch rooms, or did the class switch rooms, or did they just swap teachers?
No, the class. So you would go over to that classroom.
You'd go over to that classroom.
And some kids might come over to your classroom to change for that subject.
Okay.
But Valentine's Day definitely was a thing. But treat bags.
Yeah.
I only remember experiencing when I've had kids. When I think we had a party, and I think maybe some parents would bring a treat for everybody to share.
Right.
And you would definitely exchange.
But we had to make those boxes so that you could get your little Valentine, and back then, I don't even know, because it's been a while since I've had little kids, like the little cheap little Valentine's card, like a postcard kind of little thing and stuff. But we had to make a box so that we would all walk around the room and had to distribute it. And I just remember, like, it wasn't required that you had to give one to every kid in the room.
No.
So my box always only had like 4 or 5.
No, get out of here.
I'm not kidding you. I was not popular. I was the kind of the geeky kid that was in the corner.
No, I doubt that. But if they weren't giving, you were probably just so nice. I was given Valentines because they were afraid. I'd be sitting there going, hey, Joe. You better cough up. I don't see your.
They
Valentine.
had to pay their tithe to you to keep you off their radar.
Just give her a card. We don't want to have the wrath of that happening. But no, I don't remember being required. And I don't want to be a lousy individual and say that by today's standards they do. And I've experienced this because I had kids who went through all of this.
Yeah.
You do generally the teacher will send home a list of all the students.
Yeah.
So that you can
have
make
to
sure that, whatever you're preparing. But and I really think our like little Valentine's cards that we had back in the late 70s, early 80s, just like everything else, they were way cooler.
Yeah.
I mean, not that the ones just now they're so spread thin because you can get Bluey Valentines and, all these other cartoons that are big. When my kids were watching, Caillou. Oh, God. No, sorry, I brought up Caillou. But yeah, all the things that were popular then, which is lovely because you can sort of choose. To me, it's like overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because I would want to try and find the Valentine that suited my child. And each one of them had a different personality, of course, as they all do. And you're like, well, which one does he want? Which one does she want?
Right.
The other thing I don't remember now, did you say you do remember creating a Valentine box for people to distribute?
Yeah, we had to, that was like part of our assignment that we had to make sure we brought a little box in, and we would set the box on our desk, and then we would all line up and we would just go in a circle up and down the rows to distribute into the boxes. And people knew that, that seat there is where Kerry sits, so that's Kerry's box, but we would all walk around the room at the same time. So you wouldn't see who put the Valentines in your box or who wasn't putting them in.
So they were trying to do a distraction so that in case you didn't give somebody.
Like me, I didn't, so I wouldn't know, unless they wrote and then we didn't open those boxes until we got home.
Right.
Like the teachers were smart about that because they didn't want the crying kid in the room. Yeah. So they were like, okay, we distributed them, and now when you go home tonight, you can read them. And then I'd open up my little pathetic box of like 4 when I had 27 kids in my classroom. So that would have been 26. So 20. You you think I'm making this shit up? I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you this is how it was.
Well, I know your personality was way more appealing than mine. And I was kidding before about the fact that they just gave them to me so they didn't have to deal with like a horrible person. But now I think that's the truth. Because I do remember having them, and I think it was out of fear.
Yeah.
It was not out of admiration. Valentine's Day, the holiday of providing people things out of fear. But the box thing,
they'd love to hate you.
They love me. That's the story of my life. So I don't remember creating the box. If we did, it might have been an in-school project that you kind of just did.
Oh, okay.
But for some reason, I feel like they just threw them in your desk. Remember, we had the desk where the top picked up.
Oh, we didn't have that. Our desk had the under the seat.
Yeah, we didn't have those. We had the ones where
I know what you mean.
Up and you slam your fingers in it, and it was fun.
Or slam someone else's fingers in it.
Yeah,
I'm sure you did that.
Oh, sure. Hey, come here. Where's my Valentine? You see what's going to happen to you. So, but when I had my kids, and I know parents listening to this, you get it. These Valentine's boxes are like competition.
Yeah.
I mean, they have them that look like robots and castles and Harry Potter's,
They probably made them on some 3D image maker thing too. You know, they're elaborate.
I do remember making one for my daughter when she was real little, and she used it throughout her preschool and kindergarten year. And I was so proud of it because I felt it was so unique. Took a shoebox, and then I went into the craft store and I bought a bunch of swatches of different like Valentine colored fabrics, pinks and reds and white. I basically cut them into squares and then glued them onto this box. It looked like a beautiful like little patchwork.
Quilt. Like a quilt.
Yeah. And I put her name on it, and there's a hole for you.
Do you still have that box?
Of course.
I was gonna say, is it over there somewhere?
No, it's actually in a better place. Our studio is in a beautiful place, but you have to go through a minefield of toys because Chrissy doesn't get rid of anything. Soon. If anybody
we'll talk about that in a future episode.
Maybe we can work a deal. But and then I know for my two younger ones, they actually came out with at some of the bigger stores. They would have a blank canvas for you to work with.
Yeah.
So they had these fantastic things that I just thought were lovely. It actually was like cardboard, but it looked like a mailbox. And then it was up to you to basically buy all the lovely little thingamajigs like stickers and other things you could paste on it and create these beautiful little mailboxes for them to exchange their Valentines.
Well, that's cute.
And then the treat bag. I sat many hours up on my bed putting together these treat bags for my kids the next day.
DJ Nick's rolling his eyes, shaking his head.
Oh my God. And me, because I'm a little obsessive about stuff, I had to make sure everything was equal. Same amount of Tootsie Rolls, same amount of a sucker, same amount of a sticker.
So you were kind of going back to like when we talked about our parents would give us all the same gift, sort of,
yeah.
It was kind of a remembrance of that. We had to all be equal, had to all be the same.
Yeah.
Didn't matter that we were 10, 12 years difference in age. But
Right.
So here you are. All the candy has to be equal.
All the
same.
My daughter went to her preschool and kindergarten was not, I guess it's private. It actually had the same name as our high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Out there in competitive land. And, and so, to be involved at any level, Christmas, spring, whatever they had going on there, Valentine's Day, it was a serious, you had to sign up if you wanted to work any of the parties there.
Oh,
and
the
you
parents.
and then you had to tell them, okay, I would prefer, this is my number one choice, second choice. And then they would decide, it was like a lottery. Then they decide who would score the parties. You might not get your first choice, depending on the amount of people. And it was very structured and very serious. Wow. I mean, because you would have the treat bags, you would have they would bring in food, so you distribute like food for the kids, and then you would have a craft. You had to create a craft for everybody.
Oh my God,
to do.
Isn't this the teacher's job to do all this? Why are they having the parents do this?
No, and we paid tuition to go to this place.
Oh my God!
And the teacher, they would try to make it sound like the teacher deserved the day off, but she just sat there and watched. Like she wouldn't even help. He, whoever it was. They would just sit, which now that you bring that up, I never thought about it. Now I'm like really agitated.
Now you're mad. I can see your
I
face.
am like agitated because I do remember them telling me, well, the teachers get a break and they want the parents to do everything. Why? Why do I have to do everything? Didn't I pay my tuition this month?
Right.
Yeah. And
that's your job.
And then you'd have to, the craft and then the game. You have to do a game. You have to come up with a game.
Oh my God.
To entertain. I remember there was one kid in my daughter's class, little boy, and he was trying to do the craft. One of the crafts I created for one of the Valentine's parties I was lucky enough to participate in was I bought a bunch of like these hearts and I had them all, and then I had to like create all these like bags with glue sticks and stickers and glitter and everything. I had them sit there and make their own Valentines, like for their mom and dad or sisters and brothers or whoever they want, grandparents, whatever. That was really fun. But then somebody brought in some game where it usually required like marshmallows or some sort of thing where you had to keep the marshmallows stacked up. And this one little boy was sitting there and he just looked so unhappy.
Aww.
And I said, what's the matter? Do you need help with anything? And he goes, it was the most profound thing I ever heard a child this age say. He's like, I really just don't understand why I have to do this.
You're like, oh, it's my spirit child.
It was my spirit child. I said, oh my God. And I had no answer for him. I sat there and I looked at him and I said, honey, just do whatever. If you don't worry about it. The day's almost over. I just, what do I say? The kid nailed it. He was just sitting there. I mean, he looked completely drained. And he had to sit there and stack marshmallows one on top of another and try and stick a pretzel rod through it or something. I mean, it was like, and I just was like, oh my gosh, the poor, I was like, does he need help? I really did. Yeah. I don't really understand. And it was like a low voice. He kind of muttered it like he was sitting there plotting something at the same time, like he was going to jam a pretzel through somebody's head. And wow. Yeah. Wow. So God love you parents. So, and I bought the ticket. I drank the Kool-Aid. I had to do it too. I made the treat bags, made the Valentine's boxes.
I don't remember our parents ever, well, at least in my school, the parents were not involved. Like there was no like, you know, class.
I don't even remember them coming to the party at the school.
No, like the only time I ever remember my parents coming to school 1st through 8th grade was like if we had a production of something, you know, like if we did a Christmas play or something. Yes. But like daily in the classroom, there was no teacher's aide. Like it was just us 27, 28 kids and the teacher. There was no other assistant. There was no parent helper. There was none of that. And if we had a little like Valentine's Day party, there was no parent there. There was nothing else there. No. Like, and I got dropped off by a bus. I got picked up by a bus. I wasn't a walker and a car rider. Like, you know, I didn't live close enough where I, you know, wasn't bused. So my parents weren't part of my grade school experience except for holidays.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, well, probably not my dad really much at all.
Oh yeah, my dad.
But my father, the way he worked and stuff too, not to make excuses for it. I think he did. I think they had an art show, and I did an art project that was featured. I was lucky enough to make something pretty cool, and I think he did come to that. But my mom would come for a couple of things, but not much. But today, which actually is probably a good thing, they really require. First of all, everybody understands this who has kids in school. You have to be buzzed in.
Yes, right.
Which that was never the case. I mean, anybody could be in a building and you just didn't question it. I remember for my daughter's preschool, I had to go to a specific class that required you to get background checked and fingerprinted. The county sheriffs were there to conduct this. And you had to sit through a movie, which was awful. And I felt like if you're an adult and you're a parent and you have kids, this is pretty basic stuff. It was about like basically I don't know why working a party had anything to do with recognizing a child who maybe was suffering from some sort of abuse, which is a very serious topic. And I feel like...
So this is like a child protection covenant.
It must have been.
Yeah, and that's why. And so if they had parents or anybody coming in, they had to go through this to make sure they weren't letting somebody... I get it. Yeah. Yeah. But it is a modern time thing. It's not what we grew up with.
No, not at all.
Oh, I was just going to say, so kind of going back to our Valentine's Day, what is your best memory of Valentine's? Did you get any good... What's your favorite Valentine Day memory? Do you have any? Does any stick out? Past, present, future?
With my husband, I guess, celebrating that day, going out to eat or something like that is nice. No, I mean, no, just no. I really want to. I'm trying to grab
I have
something.
One memory.
Please.
So when my husband and I were dating, and I knew we were going to get engaged, and I knew he was thinking about it, and we had this trip planned, and it happened to have been, I'm pretty dang sure it was on Valentine's weekend or somewhere real close to that. So we were living out in Las Vegas, and we would often go to California to spend the weekend, go to a dog show, do something, whatever we were doing. I thought for sure he was going to propose to me that weekend. And he kind of like kept hinting about things, like little things. So then he picked out this restaurant, and when we were at the restaurant, he ordered like, the steak and lobster, like everything he kept doing. And so I'm like waiting for it. And all weekend it wasn't happening. We went for a nice, beautiful moonlight walk on the beach in California. And I thought, oh, here it is. Nothing. Go to the restaurant, beautiful dinner, dessert, everything. Nothing. I mean, it was just left and right. I was getting more pissed off that whole weekend. So mad. And I know he says that he did not plan this. So I'm like, I know you planned this. I knew you knew that I thought this was happening, and you kept like getting me to, it's going to happen. No, it's going to happen. No. So, so he didn't. And no,
Did it happen shortly thereafter?
I think it was a month later.
Oh.
And I will say I was surprised whenever it did happen, but yeah, I'll never forget that weekend because.
Does he try to, take it, it make you think, oh yeah, I was planning that the whole time. I wanted to make you feel that way.
He said,
I would have lied. I would have said, oh yeah.
I know that's what he was. I knew he knew, and I knew he thought that, and he was playing it up. But he's like, no, I didn't. No, I wasn't. I'm like, no, you were doing it. So,
right.
But that's probably my most memorable one, only because I really thought we were going to get engaged that weekend.
Well, quickly, since we're in the romantic mood for a second, how did he finally propose?
So how he finally proposed is we were living out in Las Vegas, and we came back to Ohio, and I think it was like around, I think it was like Easter weekend or something. So it was probably late March, early April. I just remember there was still snow on the ground, and he was asking my parents for permission. He was old school about that and was really sweet. And what's really funny is he went and asked my dad. He got all the nerve up to ask my dad, and my dad said, you're gonna have to go talk to Bonnie. And so he had to go ask my mom because my dad was like, well, if Bonnie says it's okay. And so he had to get the nerve up to ask my mom. Then when I was in high school, my dad and I built a barn at the property that I grew up on. So that was always a special place. That property and that house meant a lot to me up until a few years ago. And we built that barn. It was always one of the good memories I had of my dad. That weekend, he asked my parents, and then he used to know I'd like to go look at the barn and stuff. So he kept trying to get me to go out, but it was like freaking snowy and cold, and I didn't want to really go out there. But he was being, adamant about it. So we went out, and he knelt down and proposed in the barn that my dad and I built. So it was sweet. It was very romantic in its own little way because it meant something to me and to him and stuff. So yeah,
that's wonderful.
What about your story?
Well, Kerry, that is very romantic, but I have you.
I'm sure you do.
Wait till you hear mine. Because I always bring out romance and happiness with everybody I am involved with.
I can't wait. I'm on pins and needles.
So my husband and I knew each other shortly after we graduated from high school. And then we got reacquainted when we were in college. Mm-hmm. And so we were young, dating, and we go to Taco Bell a lot and other places. And I usually was driving because I had my own ride.
Yes.
He had to borrow his mom's when he needed one. So I generally would just drive. And I remember we were driving to go get some lunch from Taco Bell. Typical college kids, And I turned the corner. I can tell you the streets and everything, but I'm not. Well, I mean, New Road to Raccoon.
Oh, that Taco Bell over there.
That one that used to be over there in Austintown. Raccoon Road. That was because it's the closest one to us.
Yeah, it was close to you.
And I turned the bend. I'm sitting here trying to think, what am I going to order? Is it going to be tacos? Is it going to be I used to like to get their taco salads. They don't have those anymore.
Yeah.
And he just all of a sudden blurted it out. Will you marry me? And I'm like, what? What did you just say? I don't think they have that on the menu. I've never heard of that. And then I think he was offended I didn't give him a quick answer. But I can't switch gears now. I have to focus on Taco Bell. And now you want me to make a decision about this.
A life decision.
So we went home, ate the Taco Bell, digested. I needed to
digesting mentally and physically.
Yeah. And of course I said yes. But yeah, so I got you're driving us to Taco Bell and I just love you and can't live without you because you're the only person I want to eat Taco Bell with the rest of my life.
That's like the couples retreat movie when they talk about Applebee's. Well, I want to go to Applebee's. Will you go to Applebee's? Have you not seen that movie?
I haven't. I know it's Vince Vaughn's in that. You're
the movie person.
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's basically the same thing. You'll have to watch it now. But that actually, now that you say that makes the story so
You
sweet.
are really looking at me with like, this is a lovely thing. And I don't feel the same way. I kind of like the barn and the kneeling, and he wasn't prepped for a yes answer, I guess, because there was no ring exchanged at that time.
Okay,
but to give him credit, we were only 19 years old.
Aww.
So we were very young.
That's sweet.
Now, he did ask my father for permission, but it was after he wasn't going to commit to asking Dad.
Yeah.
And I just remember being really mad about one thing because you had to go into my dad's lair to find him.
Yes.
And Nick was brave enough to go downstairs into that lair. And I hovered upstairs on the steps to listen. I wanted to hear this.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, my dad's going to have to focus on me for 1 second. I'm finally going to get attention from Dad. What's Dad going to do? I told him, I warned him, I said, just make sure that when you're going down there, time it right. You have to go when there's a commercial on. Because he will not pay attention to you.
Oh my gosh!
I was always really good at communicating with my father in like 90 second to like a minute 20, because you had to get him during commercials.
Catch it on the 25 after the hour when the commercials were longer.
Right. Well, oh my God, boy, you got a lot of attention right then. And I sat there and listened to my father. He talked to my father and said, I really, love her and I'd like to marry her. And my father didn't say anything. And then this is what pissed me off. My father says, I really just want to make sure you finish college, Nick.
Oh,
Nick. Hello. I'm in college too. What? Yeah, I guess Nick will finish college. What do you think? I'm going to ruin his life? Hello, whose kid am I?
Yeah.
Is he your kid or am I?
Yeah.
It was just that threw me back.
Yeah.
Dad was worried. But now Nick, and since has tried to explain this to me. He wanted to make sure that he was giving his daughter to somebody who was going to provide.
And that's
for
how
her.
I took it when you said that. That's why I was like, oh, he just wanted to make sure his daughter was provided for.
Not me. What?
Chrisy.
Not going to finish college? I hate to see you ruin your life with that one.
Oh, honey.
Yeah, no, I don't think my dad was. I don't know what he was thinking, but I
Did
certainly
you
was
get
gonna
the
tell
question and everything in within 90 seconds of the commercials, Nick?
It was
He doesn't
quick.
remember.
Oh, I do.
He
It
shrugs
was
his
quick.
shoulders.
The show came back up. Nick was already upstairs. It was perfect.
Aw.
So, yeah, that was romantic, I guess. In my way. That's my romance.
I will
Taco
have
Bell.
to say, because, I was married before. Actually, my husband and I, we both have been married. This is our third marriage. So we both joke around and say third time's a charm for both of us. But my second husband, he did propose to me at Chi-Chi's. So we have a connection. We have a Mexican food.
And I did love Chi-Chi's. And I'm very excited. I've heard that they might be coming back. Which, oh my God. Now I really got to watch because, believe me, probably a lot of my weight that I had at that time was overdoing it at the Chi-Chi's. I'm thrilled that we have the connection with the Mexican food. I'm sorry that, although I guess I'm not sorry because the guy you have now,
I know,
and you said third
gold.
time is a charm, and
Yeah.
he is golden.
He's golden.
Fantastic.
Even though I was married before, I don't have any animosity, nothing like that. It's made me who I am. And both my husband and I both say that if we would have married each other first, we probably wouldn't have never lasted. We needed those other relationships to learn who we are, learn how to be in a relationship and everything. So,
and I believe that to be true for some people. On the other side of that, with me and my husband, because we have been married, we both got married at 20. We were both 21. Mm-hmm. It was not always beautiful.
No.
And when you're that young and you get married, there's a lot you have to learn, not just from each other and what that relationship means, but for yourself.
Yes.
And you go through, at that age, a very selfish period, especially me.
Yep.
And I will admit, I was horribly selfish. And am.
Sorry, Chrissy.
But now, before I was selfish but wouldn't admit it, and now I'm selfish, but I admit it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I always knew Nick had some way of understanding me.
Yeah.
And
find that is, and that's how I feel about Jim. Like he gets my broken self, and that's what I always say to him. I'm like so broken, and he's the only one that can figure it out. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. Then maybe we'll have some good stories after Valentine's Day. I want to hear
a friend's time.
Oh,
how do you call that? Like there was Friendsgiving. Is there friends time?
A friend's time.
I don't know. You show up with wine and a carton of cigarettes or something.
We can do whatever
chocolate,
we want.
I don't want chocolate. I don't want cigarettes either.
No.
Not promoting that. But
I'm sure we could figure something out. So.
Yeah, because some people feel like they're very lonely on Valentine's Day because it's so much promoting.
Oh, isn't that what they call
couples.
Galentine's Day? I think that's what that is. That Galentine gals, where the girlfriends get together.
Yes.
Galentine's.
So see, there is.
So
all right, girls and boys and everybody, whoever you want to spend that day with, spend it,
and then tell us all about it. Tell us all about your nightmare or your best dream or whatever about Valentine's Day.
And
what
go
did you
spend money on those obnoxious cards that you think are just saying exactly what's in your heart. Really? I don't think so.
And I'm just saying, I'm not opposed to getting flowers. So, Jim, if you're listening, a girl still likes to get flowers even after 20 some years of marriage. So
I'm with you. I'm a traditionalist in that part. Flowers, chocolates, a nice nightgown. Hint, hint.
All righty, but everybody, happy Valentine's Day. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you next week.
Happy Valentine's Day.